You might think Toothless is one of the biggest dragons out there, but sorry to disappoint, he's not even close. This list covers the biggest dragons from the franchise, from ones the size of boats to those bigger than mountains. So if you're expecting a Night Fury on here, you're gonna be waiting a long time. Let's count down the 13 biggest dragons in How to Train Your Dragon, starting with the smallest of the giants. Kicking off this list at number 13 is the Grunkle, a fan favorite you'll spot throughout How to Train Your Dragon films and series. While they might look a bit round and goofy, don't let that fool you because they're tough little dragons with crazy strong jaws that can crush rocks into pieces. When they breathe fire, it's not just regular flames, but molten lava balls that can stick to targets and cause serious damage. They're a force to be reckoned with in battle and built for strength more than speed, which means they're compact but mighty, great for smashing through obstacles and defending their riders. And all that adds up to a dragon measuring about 14 feet 9 inches long, weighing roughly 5,724 pounds, with a wingspan of around 18 feet and 4 inches. Just when you thought a dragon could double as a flying tank, these next beasts make that look like a lizard with a tutu, so hold tight, because things are about to get seriously huge and seriously wild. Number 12 is the Skril. And if you've seen How to Train Your Dragon 2 or the Dragons Defenders of Berk series, then you already know this one isn't just built for show. The Skril is basically the storm's favorite dragon because it feeds on lightning. This beast can absorb lightning strikes straight into its body and then launch that energy as deadly electric blasts that hit harder and faster than fire. Its razor-sleek wings fold back to ride lightning currents, making it one of the fastest and most agile dragons, especially in stormy skies. The Skril's got a temper too, and it's not easily tamed as even Valka's sanctuary had it locked up in ice just to keep it from wreaking havoc. And when it breaks out, it doesn't waste time going straight for revenge. With all that raw power and fearsome reputation, the Skril earns its place on this list, and in terms of size, it measures about 30 feet long with a 31-foot wingspan. At number 11, we have the Thunder Drum, a dragon that sounds like a living sonic boom. It first appeared in How to Train Your Dragon, and it doesn't breathe fire like most others, it just yells. Not like a normal roar either, more like a concentrated blast of sound that knocks ships off the ocean or tear through stone. And when it spreads its massive wings, it sorta looks like a flying sea creature, like if a stingray turned into a storm. It's measured at about 60 to 70 feet long. At number 10 is the Crimson Gore, a prehistoric bruiser from the hidden world that looks like it stomped out of an ancient glacier and straight into a fight. With its massive tusks and hulking frame, it moves slowly but hits like a battering ram, and when it charges, it can knock down trees and flip small boats like toys. It's built more like a battering beast than a flyer, but its wings are still strong enough to get it airborne when it needs to, and its roar can rattle nearby cliffs and scatter smaller dragons. Its tail swings like a wrecking log, and its fire breath comes out thick and molten, more like a burst of lava than a flame. All that adds up to a dragon that's about 65 to 70 feet long, with a towering 90 to 100-foot wingspan. At number 9, we've got the Fireworm Queen. She makes her big appearance in Dragons Riders of Berk, and when she shows up, the regular fireworms basically roll out the red carpet for her. She's not just their leader, but also their heat source since their body burns so hot, it can light up an entire cave and keep hundreds of fireworms warm and glowing. Her fire breath erupts like molten napalm in short explosive bursts, making her deadly in close quarters, and with the ability to slither through tight spaces and still fly, she's a queen built for power and unpredictability. She might not be a common sight, but her sheer heat and the way she commands her hive makes her unforgettable, and size-wise, she comes in at just over 50 feet long with a wingspan to match at around 51 feet. Coming in at number 8 is the Armor Wing, a dragon that's not just dangerous, but basically walks into battle wearing stolen weapons. You'll catch a glimpse of this metal-covered beast in the Race to the Edge, where it shows off one of the most unique defenses in the entire franchise. Instead of growing its own scales, the Armor Wing magnetically attracts metal and welds it to its body with oxyacetylene fire, forging its personal armor blade by blade. This means it's not just protected, but armed to the teeth, able to turn the battlefield into a weapon, and with fire hot enough to melt iron, it trades speed for sheer intimidation and defense. But don't underestimate it, as despite its bulk, it's still agile and capable of sharp turns and hover-feeding movement. In canonical terms, an adult armor wing runs about 70 feet long with a wingspan of around 70 feet, weighs around 2,400 pounds, though that can climb depending on how much metal it's carrying. Crashing into number 7 is the Submaripper, a deep-sea beast from Race to the Edge that turns the ocean into a death trap. It doesn't just swim, but it spins whirlpools that drag everything nearby into the deep, and with jaws full of barbed teeth, it swallows prey whole or crushes stone with a roar. Its fins cut through water like blades, and when it breaches, it throws up tidal waves that smash everything in sight. It's roughly 166 feet long, with a 113-foot wingspan. Now, we've had queens with lava breathing and dragons that ride lightning, but the next one takes fiery chaos to a whole new level. Claiming the 6th spot is the Ripwrecker, a colossal leviathan first unleashed in Dragon's Titan Uprising. And although it looks like a spiked tidal wave, it's anything but predictable. Its massive tail can whip up walls of water high enough to sink ships, and its barbed scales act like anchors so it can lock down anything it rams. Rumor has it that its roar triggers underwater tremors that send smaller dragons fleeing. All of that raw oceanic power is packed into a beast measuring about 244 feet long with a wingspan of near 203 feet, making it one of the largest seaborne dragons in the known franchise. Coming in at number 5 is the Shellfire. This sea-dwelling colossus makes its presence known in Dragon's Titan Uprising and Rise of Berk. And let's just say, if you thought island-sized dragons were an exaggeration, think again. The Shellfire isn't just big, it's a literal fortress with legs, dragging its massive shell across the seafloor like a walking volcano. Its firepower comes from a high-pressure blast of lava it can launch from its barnacle-covered face, and that molten attack has the range of a battleship cannon. It moves slowly, but with the kind of momentum that crushes ships like paper, and its spiky armor makes it nearly untouchable in battle. And size-wise, this floating tank of doom stretches about 332 feet long with a 300-foot wingspan. Moving up to number 4 is the Screaming Death, a cave-shaking terror you first meet in Dragon's Defenders of Berk, and whose roar alone can summon whispering deaths to its side, throwing riders off their dragons. It may look like a bigger, snow-white cousin of the Whispering Death, but this Titan-class nightmare swaps stealth for sheer power, barreling through rock with its 3 rows of serrated teeth and unleashing blasts of superheated air that can melt stone. It's as fast underground as it is on the wing, and although its wingspan seems small for its bulk, it still manages to lift its massive frame and swoop down on prey without warning. All of which adds up to a dragon measuring about 365 feet long with a wingspan of around 127 feet. Think you've seen fire? Wait till you meet the next 3 because they'll turn the sky into a raging inferno. Moving up to number 3 is the Red Death, the volcanic alpha you face in the first How to Train Your Dragon film and whose roar shatters stone and shakes the sky. It makes its lair in a molten cave kingdom where it rules smaller dragons like terrified subjects, and its methane-charged flames don't just burn but explode in firestorms that reshape the landscape. With 3 pairs of eyes set in a coral-spiked head, it has 0 blind spots, and those serrated teeth can crush bone and rock without effort. It even uses its massive tail as a wrecking ball to level anything in its path, and legend says it nearly destroyed Berk before Hiccup's clever aim found one of its weaknesses. All of this power comes in a body that measures about 400 feet long, with a wingspan of 550 feet, and weighing roughly 20,000 to 22,000 pounds. But what if I told you you're still underestimating how big a dragon can get, because the next one will blow your mind and your measuring tape? Securing second place is the Forever Wing, a mystery-class behemoth you glimpse in Dragon's Rise of Berk. While it looks like a walking forested hill, it's anything but peaceful as its back blooms with camouflaging foliage that hides a magma-fueled core. When provoked, it can spew rivers of lava hot enough to melt stone or switch to corrosive acid blasts when it wants to conserve energy. It's also said to soothe or rally nearby dragons with gentle telepathy before unleashing its wrath, and despite carrying enough mass to level villages, it drifts through the sky as silently as mist. All of that ancient might is packed into a creature measuring about 492 feet long with a 558-foot wingspan, making it one of the largest and most awe-inspiring dragons yet. Think you've seen fire? Wait till you meet the next one, because they'll turn the sky into a raging inferno. At the number 1 spot is the Bewilderbeast, the true alpha you first face at the end of How to Train Your Dragon 2, and although it looks like an iceberg with tusks, it's anything but cold when it's on the hunt. Its super-cooled water breath can freeze entire ships solid before it shatters them with telepathic shockwaves, and those antenna-like spikes on its head let it seize control of every dragon in sight, so it commands entire flocks as easily as a maestro conducts an orchestra. Legend says they migrate under the sea to hibernate, yet still communicate with their brood through song-like vibrations, and despite weighing as much as a Greyhound bus, it can plow through icebergs and bulldoze mountains. All of that alpha power comes wrapped in a beast measuring about 520 feet long, with a 150-foot wingspan and weighing roughly 200,000 pounds. Don't forget to like this video.